Timmy, a 24-year-old college graduate, won the US visa lottery. It was ecstatic knowing that this would be an opportunity for him to achieve his goals and help his family members financially. He packed his bags and made it safely from Lagos, Nigeria to the US. And before long, he got a job with a decent pay. Timmy was quickly introduced to the credit system in the country and offered a credit card of $10,000. Oh, Timmy was overjoyed as he had never had access to this kind of fund before. He soon started using his credit card to upgrade his lifestyle, buying all kinds of designer clothes and shoes and perfumes and sunglasses and belts. He even bought the latest iPhone on credit and got a car loan. Timmy would take pictures with his fancy clothes, and soon his friends and family back home assumed he was rich and constantly asked him to send money to them. Timmy got another credit card when he reached his 10,000 credit limit. He also took out a personal loan to pay down some of his bills and to maintain his lifestyle. Soon, Timmy was drowning in debts and unable to send money home. He didn't know what to do to get out of this vicious cycle. Are you like Timmy in some way? Or do you know someone like Timmy? Hi, my name is Tola Williams, and this is Talents and Treasures with Tola. Welcome to week 4, and today we will be addressing the elephant in the room. We'll be diving into a topic that affects so many of us: debts. D as in debts. If you notice, I say us because I'm working on this myself and I'm waging war against debt this year. Love it or hate it, debt is a major part of personal finance, especially for those that live in the Western world, where the economy thrives on credit. Understanding how debt works is the first step towards taking control of your financial future. And so today, we would explore the different types of debts, why people find themselves in debt in the first place, how to break free from it, and would also touch on whether any debt can be considered good. Alright, so let's talk about some common types of debts that individuals have. And the very first one is credit cards. Credit cards. This is one of the most common and expensive debts in the US. Credit cards have high interest rates if balances are not paid off each month. Interest rates are typically over 20%. Some even go as high as 28%. Credit cards always have minimum payments, but they can quickly accumulate if only the minimum is paid. The problem with credit card is that most people hardly pay down monthly. Some statistics here. According to LendingTree, Americans have an absolute mountain of credit card debt of $1.166 trillion. And as at the third quarter of last year, 2024, an average cardholder in America had an unpaid balance of $7,236. The second type of debt I want to talk about is student loans. So because college education is so expensive in the Western world, many people resort to taking student loans to pay for their education. So many individuals are burdened with significant student loan balances. According to Education Data Initiative, the average undergraduate debt is around $30,000, and graduate debt, those that have masters and even some PhD, They probably hold between $60,000 and $130,000. Number three, mortgage debt. This is a long-term debt used to buy a home. While it's often considered an investment, paying it off requires careful planning. Most lenders typically present 30-year mortgages to their borrowers. But do you know that you can actually opt for a 15-year mortgage? The monthly payment will obviously be higher, but the interest rate is typically lower, resulting in less interest payments and early payoff. So if you're shopping around for a mortgage, you may want to consider a 15-year mortgage if it can fit within your budget. The next one I want to talk about is auto loans, and that is debt for purchasing a car. This typically is paid over several years, some 4, some 5, some 6, even 7. So while interest rates on cars are not generally high, depreciation can make this very tricky. Because the moment you drive the car out of the driving lot, it begins to depreciate. And that means that you're paying interest on a depreciating asset. My advice, buy a car you can afford per time and avoid unnecessary debts. Number 5, personal loans. And I know some people are saying, well, I don't have any mortgages, I don't have any car loans, I don't have any credit cards. But that's probably because you live in an economy that does not offer those as much. But you have a personal loan. Money borrowed from friends and family. Oh yes. You have loans from the cooperative. Some people even borrow from the banks, microfinance banks, and all of those. And people borrow for various reasons. Some people borrow for medical bills, to pay medical bills. But some people borrow for weddings, some for burials, naming ceremonies. Some people even borrow for vacations. This is 2025. Please, let's stop this kind of borrowing. Let's plan for events. Let's not borrow to impress those that will not pay, that will not help you pay your debts. Okay, so why do people get into debt in the first place? Debt happens for all kinds of reasons. So let's take a look at a few common ones. The very first reason is living beyond your means. With easy access to credit cards and loans, it's tempting to buy things you can't truly afford. Buy now, worry later. Buy now, worry later. Living beyond your means. The second reason is lack of financial education. And I think that this is where so many people are. People just don't understand how borrowing prevents them from building wealth. Some people don't even know how, they don't fully understand the terms of some of the loans that they have. Some don't know the interest rates that are being charged, nor do they know the number of years they will pay for. Number 3 reason people borrow: emergencies. Life happens. Unexpected medical bills, car repairs, or even job loss can push people into debt. Impulse buying or not tracking expenses can lead to excessive credit card usage. Another reason is high cost of living. Inflation is not even helping, All right, so is it possible to be debt-free, especially for those in the Western world? Is it possible? The simple answer is yes. It will be a journey for so many people, but having this as a goal is the very first step. With intentionality, with discipline, and with time, you and I can be debt-free. Let me quickly talk about some common tips to becoming debt-free. This is the exciting part, right? Because it's all about taking control. The very first tip is create a budget. To get out of debt, you must understand how much comes in and how much you spend periodically, usually monthly. We'll address budgeting in great detail in week 9, so please stay tuned. Number 2 tip, start building a small emergency fund to prevent new debts from popping up. This fund will be used for things that are truly emergencies, like somebody just falling sick suddenly or an accident happening. True emergencies. House rent, paying mortgage, hospital bill for the delivery of a newborn, routine car maintenance are not emergencies because you knew those things were coming. So they're not emergencies. Number three thing you can do is to refinance some debts that you have, like student loans, credit cards. You can refinance them to shorter repayment time and for lower interest. You can call your bank and ask for a reduction in interest rate on your credit card while you're working on paying it down. Okay, call your bank, please. Number four tip is cut unnecessary subscriptions, reduce eating out, or even generally downsize. And while you're doing that, you can also consider picking up a side also so that you can get some more income to pay down some of those debts. Number five, and very important, avoid new debts. Use cash or debit cards for daily purchases as much as possible. Don't pay down a debt and then you pick up another one. Okay? I want to quickly discuss two common strategies for actually paying down those debts. I spoke about tips, but I'm going to talk about strategies for paying down. And I acknowledge that the strategies are not one size fits all because individuals and situations are different. The very first strategy for paying down debt is the avalanche method, and this is to pay off high interest debt first so that you can save money in the long run. The second method is the snowball method, and I like this method because it helps you focus on small debts first and gives you a feeling of winning every time you pay down a debt. And because of that, you want to repeat the process again. The snowball method involves the following steps. I will try to just quickly explain. The very first thing you want to do is to itemize your debts, everything that you owe, even the small ones owed to family members. List your debt in order of magnitude, from the smallest to the largest. Number two step, you want to prioritize paying off the least debt first while paying the minimum on the other debts. Okay? Once you pay off the first one, prioritize paying down the second one using the money you allocated for the first one plus the money allocated for the second one and any other money that you may have, some extra money here and there. That way you can pay down quicker. And then you want to use the same method for the other ones, for the third, for the fourth, as many as you have. If you're confused about this or you're feeling generally overwhelmed and you just want to talk to somebody, please book a free coaching session with me and I can walk you through based on your unique situation. I will leave a link in the description box. There are also some other materials on my website that you can take advantage of. Okay, so can debt actually be good? Well, some types of debt are seen as better than others. Debt tied to appreciating assets or investments like mortgages are considered reasonable as this could increase your wealth over time. High interest debts like credit cards or personal loans for non-essential purchases are considered bad. In conclusion, for 1 minute, I want you to close your eyes and imagine a life free from the stress of debts. Imagine that when you receive your income, you don't have to pay off any debts. How rich would you be? The Bible in Proverbs 22 verse 7 says, "The borrower is a slave to the lender." No matter how much we want to rationalize borrowing, the Bible does not recommend it. Being debt-free gives you financial freedom. You want to travel the world. You want to start a business. Debt-free living makes that possible. You can save more, you can invest, you can build wealth, And you'll probably even have less anxiety if you're debt free. Debt doesn't have to define your life. It's tough, I know, it's very tough. But with the right strategies and mindset, financial freedom is absolutely achievable. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful and you want to live a debt-free life, please comment war on debts. Put in the comment section war on debts. And please also make sure to like, to share and subscribe for more tips on personal finance. Until I see you next week, stay empowered.